I bet on 100 football matches using my Bet365 account over a period of 7 weeks. This video will cover the breakdown of my betting strategy, ultimately whether or not this strategy ends up making me any money or if I end up losing hundreds of pounds. So everyone is looking for that magical winning betting strategy, a system that you can implement wherever you want and whenever you want, and over the long term it makes you money month after month after month. It's the absolute dream. Now, I've been active within the betting industry seriously for the last few years, and I've actually made a decent profit off pretty much every bookmaker that's here in the UK. Now, I've been able to do this using a well-known technique online, which is called match betting. The best website out there to do match betting, in my opinion, is OddsMonkey. I've used them for years and they've helped me earn thousands of pounds from the bookmakers without taking any form of risk. If you are interested in trying it out for free, my free trial link is down below in the description of this video. But although it's an absolutely amazing technique, that being match betting, and you can make some easy profits from doing it and some good profits from doing it, in this video and in this strategy, I actually want to stray away from conventional match betting and look for something that strictly and only involves placing back bets with a bookmaker, and over the long term, hopefully, that makes me more money from my winning bets than I lose from my losing bets. Now, I know for the most part, bookmakers do not offer value on their prices. If you cross-reference the bookmakers' prices with the prices that are available on Betfair's exchange, you'll pretty much always find that the bookmaker is short pricing you. And the shorter the price, the shorter the return, of course. So I need to find something that will override the fact that the bookmaker has the advantage over me because they're trying to rip me off, they're offering me bad prices. Find something that takes the advantage away from the bookmaker from that perspective and place it on my side, hopefully making me a profit with each month that goes by. So after a little digging around and stirring into open air, trying to think of something that would give me the edge over the bookmaker, I landed on Bet365's website and located the 2-up offer. Now, for me personally, I've been running a match betting strategy which uses a 2-up offer for the last few years, and it's actually made me quite a lot of money. Rather ironically, it's very, very simple, and it actually has a really large edge contained within that strategy. Now, what I do with this strategy is back a team with the bookmaker Bet365 that qualifies for the 2-up offer. I then jump over to the betting exchange Smarkets and lay that very same team. I simply take a small loss between the back price I got with a bookmaker and the lay price that I got on the betting exchange, and even when the team that I backed with a bookmaker and obviously laid on the exchange pull 2 goals up in that match, Bet365 pay me out early as a result of the promotion they're running, the 2-up offer. I then jump over to Smarkets, cash out, trade out to my lay bet over there. Now that gives me a loss on Smarkets, but the win from the early pay from Bet365 outweighs the loss I take from cashing out over on Smarkets, thus leaving me with an overall profit from running this strategy. Now, of course, with this strategy, I am using a betting exchange to sell off my exposure and sell off my risk should my back bet not win with Bet365. But in this video, I want to stray away from that. I want to use something that only involves loading up my phone, loading up my bookmaker app, and placing a bet with Bet365, hopefully making me money every single month. So I spent a little bit of time thinking about how I could use the 2-up offer as a means of creating an edge without using Smarkets or without using Betfair to lay off any of my back bets. I came across various angles that I could go with my betting strategy, and after considering them all, I eventually decided on a plan and a strategy that I thought was going to make me money over the long term. Of course, if you're going to be running a betting strategy, you need to deposit money to gamble with. So I deposited £400 to my Bet365 account that I was using. After doing that, I decided to crunch some numbers together to make sure that I hopefully don't go bust halfway through running this strategy. Ultimately, I decided on a set stake that I was going to use to bet on every single football match, that being £10. Now, of course, I could just bet on any football match and any football team in those matches that qualify for the 2-up offer without taking into account any real information, just doing it randomly. But if I did that, I feel like I would actually lose money over the long term, and the betting strategy wouldn't make me any money. It'd be a losing betting strategy. So I need a specific set of rules, specific criteria to follow, and only place a bet on a team if those rules are met. So I filtered the 2-up matcher to look for football matches that met these criteria. Locate matches for me that have a minimum back price of 1.5, which converts to 1 to 2 if you're used to old school fractions, and find me football matches and teams in those matches priced as high as 100 or 99 to 1. The next bit is really, really important. I want the 2-up matcher to locate matches for me that have between a 96 and 100% rating. Now, as I said earlier, don't worry, I'm not going to be using a betting exchange to lay off my bets and do anything like that in this video. I just need to use this tool as a reference to determine how good the price is that the bookmaker is offering me. In a nutshell, the closer the back price that the bookmaker's offering to the price over on the exchange, the better the value is going to be for me. If I take ratings which are too small, so the bookmaker's price is significantly shorter than the exchange's price, in other words, it's likely that I might actually lose over the long term, and that's not something I want for this strategy and for this video. So I save the filter preferences on the 2-up matcher, and that is saved for me to jump in and back teams which meet the criteria that I'm looking for really quickly. And if you do want to get your hands on the 2-up matcher along with a whole range of quality tools like this, I've got that free trial link for OddsMonkey in the description of this video. Now, a key error that leisure punters make when they're betting, one of many, is they don't actually track their results and whether they're winning, whether they're losing, how much they win, strike rate, all that kind of stuff. They generally don't track it. Now, of course, if you do want to find something that has a winning betting strategy, it's a good idea to track all the data surrounding what you're doing so you can make tweaks and improve what you're doing and determine ultimately whether it actually works and whether it actually makes any money over the long term. So I started to design a quick spreadsheet. This would track the football games that I was betting on and the teams that I backed within those matches, the rating of the bet that I placed, the back price that I got with the bookmaker, the stake that I used, whether my bet won or whether it lost, and if I got a 2-up within the match. Okay, so like I just touched on, I've got all my betting criteria in place of what I'm going to use, and I'm now going to start my betting strategy. So we have a look at the 2-up match that I've loaded up on screen here. You can see it's telling us to bet on Sheffield United at odds of 1.5. Now I'm just going to jump back to me here because I don't want to be revealing things like the bet ID, when I place the bet, and the time in which I place the bet at. Bookmakers ban winners, and if they cross-reference the bet ID with this video or the time I place the bet and stuff like that, I could do without losing yet another bookmaker account and have a stake restriction of about 5p. All I'm going to do is load up the game from the 2-up matcher, which is obviously Sheffield United versus Huddersfield. Once I've got that game up, I'm going to click on Sheffield United. So I've clicked on Sheffield United there. Going to enter in the stake that I want to use, that being £10. Odds are 1.5. I'm going to click Remember Me, and then I'm now going to place the bet. And that bet is now placed with the bookmaker. Now this is, literally the extent of what I'm going to be doing within this video and running this betting strategy. I'm going to be letting the 2-up matcher do all the hard work. Then I'll just load up Bet365, whether it be on my computer or if I'm out and about on my phone or something like that, and then just place the bet based on what the 2-up matcher has pulled up for me. Just one more thing as well, which I've kind of forgot to mention. If you're used to this 2-up offer / strategy from a match betting perspective, you might be thinking the only way you can win is if the team go 2 goals up that you're backing. Now, because this is more of a value betting strategy and we're not actually using the betting exchange to lay off any of our bets, we actually have 2 chances of winning. Team goes 2 goals up, we get the early payout. But because we're not laying off any of our bets, if the team end up winning the match that we've backed, regardless of the scoreline, how many goals they score, how many goals they concede, they win the match, we'll also win our bet from that perspective as well. So we've got 2 chances of winning with this betting strategy. So I began my journey hoping to find that I had a winning betting strategy. To be honest, as I'd set my criteria up beforehand, I found it super easy and completely stress-free. The first 30 matches that I placed my bets on were a mixture of some of the final World Cup games, such as Croatia and Brazil, and some championship matches like Burnley versus Middlesbrough. Rather surprisingly, quite a lot of these matches were hitting for me and I was making a profit on a lot of the bets that I was placing. So the curiosity got the better of me and I decided it was time to check my results and see how it's been going so far. So yeah, I'm finding this strategy pretty simple, to be completely honest with you. Now, like I said, I've only bet on 30 games so far, so it's a new strategy. I've not been doing it for very long, and it's not taken me very long to bet on 30 games either, based on what the 2-up match has been telling me. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to load up my results so far and we're going to see if I've made any money at this early stage. Right, okay, so if we have a look at the running profit and loss, you can see that's £324.50. So that basically right there is the amount of profit I've made to this point. So from the 30 games that I've bet on using this 2-up strategy, value betting strategy, I've actually made that much profit. Obviously, I started with 400 quid in my Bet365 account. That's what's in it now, £724.50. And then obviously the difference is the profit, £324.50. And the graph here on the right hand side shows a visual representation of how the strategy's been going so far. So yeah, this has been going better than what I could have expected when I first started doing this, but sort of, you know, my gut feeling tells me that this is probably going to go on a little bit of a downswing, and a little bit of a bad spell of variance is on the horizon. I hope not, and I hope it just keeps making money over and over again. To be honest, I'm kind of tempted to take the money and run. You know, I haven't been restricted on this account, but you know, I've kind of started this video now. I kind of want to keep making it, keep seeing if this is profitable. So yeah, what I'm going to do, we're going to hope the variance doesn't come to catch me out and I don't get a downswing, but we're going to get as many matches as we can. I'm going to build a big sample size of matches and a big sample size of data, and hopefully this continues making me money over the long term. So as the days continued to pass by, I was placing more and more bets on my bookie account as I was smashing in win after win. In most games my bet was actually winning, as well as the teams that I was backing going 2 goals up in their games as well. My profit and loss was distinctively heading in one direction, that direction being up, and then further up, and then even further up. So I couldn't quite believe just how well this betting strategy was going for me. And it felt like I was just waiting and waiting and waiting for a downswing to occur and for the losses to start rolling in turn making my profits start to slowly dwindle away. And then I hit a point in early January where I eventually started to go on that dreaded losing streak. Now, even with a relatively large amount of losses in this period of 22 matches, I still managed to hit the odd win here and there, and ultimately, in the worst run of the strategy to date, I'd still managed to make £2.50 worth of profit. So hoping I'd been through the worst of the variance and come out lucky, I continued ploughing through more 2-up bets. And almost immediately after, my luck started to pick back up once again, scoring 9 winning bets in a row, increasing my profit and loss by £160. And as I approached that magic number of 100 bets, the question was moving away from, have I found a profitable betting strategy, and more towards, how much money is this betting strategy going to make me? I spent 7 weeks betting on football teams that qualified for the 2-up offer. I bet on 101 matches. I lost on 45 matches, each loss costing me £10. This tallied up to £450 worth of losing bets. And on the flip side of the equation, I won on 56 of my bets and profited approximately £22.44 on average each time that my bet won. So this means that running my betting strategy over a 7-week period made me a profit of £806.60. So I'm very happy with the profit I've made from running this easy betting strategy, and the little bit of effort I've put in making sure that I only bet on value matches, which the 2-up matcher informs me of, has quite clearly paid off. But this video didn't explain how I make £1,000 a month from using the Bet365 2-up offer without even risking a penny. So if you want to know exactly how to run the ultimate no risk betting strategy, you should definitely check out the video on screen right now.